Hello and welcome back once again to After the Credits. Today we're talking about A Bad Mom's Christmas. What did I think of Bad Mom's Christmas? I liked it, but at the same time, I don't feel it was as good as the first one. The first one just had a level of comedy to it that this one tries to recapture, but basically it strips down a lot of what made the first one funny. It tries to replay some of the same jokes now with the grandmothers versus the mothers, but at the same time, a lot of what made the first one good is stripped out of this one. It does still have some comedic points. I did laugh a couple times in this one. There was some nice jokes, some nice interactions between the parents and children and the three mom friends that are kind of horrible. And it basically comes down to Mila Kunis and her mother don't get along, and her mother decides to drop by for Christmas, and she's like, I had this whole thing I want to do for Christmas with the kids, and you're kind of here ruining it, and instead of just kind of talking it out like adults, they're just kind of going at each other back and forth. And the grandmother's point is it's the first year the kids are having a Christmas since the divorce, so it's the first time both their parents haven't been there. So she wants to make it special and memorable for them so they don't feel so bad about one of their parents not being there. And at the same time, Mila Kunis is trying to give them what they want, and they just want a nice chill Christmas without all the bullshit and, hype and everything around it. It's like, let's just do our normal Christmas thing. Go out and do some caroling, come back, get in our pajamas, sit down with some popcorn, watch a movie, go to bed, wake up the next morning, open presents, and, have dinner, and that's Christmas. So she's like, cool, I can do that. So she's being very minimal about everything, and then here's her mom, ramping everything up. So she finally has it out with her mother, and it's kind of like, why don't you just leave? We don't want you here for Christmas. Well, now the kids get upset because Dad's not here for Christmas because you divorced him and made him leave, and now you're making Grandma leave too. What's next? Are you going to make us leave? Blah, blah, blah. So basically, Mila Kunis is the bad mom again because she's trying to give her kids what they wanted and has to fight with everyone to do that, including her kids. Then you have the blonde girl whose name I cannot remember for some reason. I just saw her on TV last night. But her mom is really clingy, mostly because she had her at a young age, so they were basically always kind of best friends, even though they're mother and daughter. And then when the girl's dad died, her mom's just kind of alone and doesn't really have many friends or anything, so she kind of clings to her daughter more than she should, and she wants to be there and involved in her life to the point where she goes into her room to watch her sleep, and she's just kind of hanging out in the room in the dark, and then they come in to get ready for bed, and her and her husband decide to have sex, and the mother's just kind of sitting there watching them, and then it's like, what the hell, why are you in here? And she's like, well, I just wanted to watch you sleep. And she's like, that's really weird that you watch me sleep. So they have this whole back and forth dynamic of one mother's just overbearing, one mother's too clingy, and then the one raunchy girl, her mother was just kind of a deadbeat mother. She was a roadie for a band or something and always lived that rock star traveler lifestyle, and did that with her daughter for a long time until her daughter turned 18. Then she's just kind of well, you're on your own, kid, have fun, and took off. And the girl's made it work for herself for all these years with her kid, has a career that works for her, manages to keep a roof over her head, and now the only time her mom shows up is when she needs money or was hiding out from somebody or whatever. So you have overbearing mother, the over-clingy mother, and the mother who's just not there, and that's your new dynamic for the bad moms, which in this case is bad grandmas, which is still the moms of the moms from the previous one, so yeah, it still works as bad moms. But basically it's just kind of them coming to terms with, we need to set our parents straight and talk to them, and it turns into kind of a fight between everyone. So it's basically kind of Christmas is ruined because we're bad moms. But then by the end, of course, everyone gets back together, reconciles, and happy ending, Merry Christmas. So that's basically all that happens in this one. But like I said, it does have its funny moments, so it is worth watching if you like the first Bad Moms and like that raunchy comedy. But it's not as funny as the first one. The first one still stands out more as the funnier film, but this one, it works as a sequel, I guess. So what would I give this one as far as a star rating? Again, I'd probably go with a 2.5. If Bad Moms, the first one was a 3.5, I think I rated it. This one would have normally been a 3 because it's below it, but because they stripped away a lot of what was fun about the first one, it drops down a little bit more. So it's not quite middle of the road, it's a little less, so it gets a 2.5. So that's going to be it for this episode. Again, as always, thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Links are down in the description. Click the bell next to the subscribe button so you get notifications every time I post new content. Until next time, we'll see you after the credits.